A long time ago, in a village named Siana, there lived a landlord named Ben. He was extremely rich, as if wealth was his ancestral right. But Ben's greed kept increasing, and he wanted to become even richer. In this greed, he became ruthless and cruel. He used to collect debts from people very strictly. Ben cared for no one. Because of his operation, whoever took a loan from him became a beggar. But the people had no other option but to take a loan from Ben. He did not just lend money in Siana but also in the neighboring villages. Near Siana, there was another village named Morgana, where a poor farmer named Stuart lived. Stuart was very hardworking. He used to work hard day and night in his fields and support his family with his crops. But over time, his daughter Liana grew up, and for her marriage, he was forced to take a loan from Ben. Due to poverty and the growing interest, Stuart could not repay the loan. The interest kept increasing like a mountain over him. Just like Stuart, 15-20 other people in Morgana had also taken a loan from Ben, but they too were unable to repay it on time. For many years, no debt collection was happening in Morgana. Seeing this, Ben ordered his accountant to go to the village and announce the auction of all debtors' houses and lands. The accountant immediately reached Morgana, gathered all the debtors and said in a strict tone, "So, my dear debtors of Morgana, listen to me carefully. If you do not repay your entire debt and interest within 8 days, then your houses and lands will be auctioned. Understood? So, see you in 8 days. See you in 8 days. Hearing the announcement made by accountant, all the debtors of Morgana were shocked. Where would they collect so much money in just 8 days? Everyone was worried, but Stuart was the most disheartened. Stuart was poor, but self-respect and honor meant a lot to him. He tried his best to earn money by working hard day and night. Along with working hard, he is also doing prayers to God, expecting a miracle to happen. But all his efforts failed. Day after day, 7 days passed. The 8th day was about to end, but still, no money was arranged. Stuart was completely hopeless now. To escape the humiliation of the next day, he was totally clueless. As the night becomes darker, his anxiety was increasing. And now, he has decided to do one thing, and that is to end his life, so that he could avoid the very next day's insult. Stuart started walking towards the jungle. In the jungle, there was a deep pond where he had decided to jump and end his life. Stuart was aware about the fact that there was a deep pond in the jungle, but he was ignoring to the fact that there was also a jinn who lived near the pond. Stuart reached the edge of the pond. In the moonlight, the pond was shimmering. Before dying, he closed his eyes and began praying to God. He sat on his knees and started his prayer. Near the pond, there was a big tamarind tree too, on which that jinn used to live. At that moment, the jinn was holding onto one of the branches and swinging. But suddenly, hearing a human voice at night, the jinn got distracted. He stopped swinging, looked in the direction of the voice. He saw the human who was praying, and then thought, "A human, that too alone, in such a dense and scary forest at night? Something is definitely wrong. Let me go and check what's happening. Stuart finished his prayer and was about to jump into the pond when suddenly the jinn appeared in front of him, laughing loudly. Seeing the jinn, Stuart got surprised. Who are you? Whoever you are, get out of my way. The jinn found it strange that this human was not scared at all. The jinn laughed loudly and said, Oh, looks like you haven't recognized me. So what? Whether you are a jinn or a ghost, it doesn't matter to me. I have come here to end my life, and I have decided to never come back here. Hearing Stuart's words, the jinn laughed even louder. Why do you want to end your life? I really like your idea. If you die and become a ghost, then it would be great for me. But first, tell me, why do you want to end your life? The jinn kept insisting. So Stuart finally told him the entire story. After hearing Stuart's story, the jinn felt extremely happy because after so long, he finally got a chance to trouble someone. That's it! You are going to end your life for such a small problem. For you, it might be a small problem, but you are a jinn. You never have to worry about anything. Well, now even you don't have to worry. Wait. How's that possible? I will tell you. Wait. But you must not die. Who want to end life when things are okay? You only tell me this. Then it's settled. Come on. I will go to the village with you. And on the way, I will tell you exactly what to do. Ha ha ha! Stuart set out towards the village with the jinn. The jinn started telling Stuart what to do next. Hearing the jinn's words, Stuart felt better now. By the time Stuart reached the village, it was almost morning. Stuart went peacefully to his home and fell asleep. On the other hand, Ben was certain that the debtors of Morgana would not be able to repay their loans. That is why he sent his men to auction their homes and lands. After a short nap, Stuart went to the village landlord. Seeing Stuart coming home, the landlord thought that Stuart had come to ask for money. In a sad voice, Hey Stuart, I understand the troubles of all of you. But forgive me, Stuart, I do not have such a huge amount to pay off everyone's debt. Please forgive me. I'm sorry, Stuart. Stuart knew well that the village landlord was not that wealthy. That is why Stuart politely said to the landlord, No, landlord sir, I do not want to put you in such a dilemma. I just came to tell you that you must accompany me to the village border. Last night I went to the forest in despair to end my life, but the forest god blessed me and gave me some treasure. I have hidden that treasure outside the village border, under a big tree. Take that wealth and free us all. Hearing Stuart's word, the landlord, without informing anyone, went with Stuart to the village border. As soon as they reached there, the jinn who was sitting on the tree entered the landlord's body. The landlord's behavior suddenly changed. He started laughing. Hey jinn, don't do anything that might make people suspicious. All right. Let's go back to the village. The auction is about to begin. When Stuart and the landlord reached the village, Ben's man was already standing in the middle and starting the auction. Meanwhile, the jinn inside the landlord was deliberately increasing the prices. The land value, houses, and other properties were all rising in price. All the villagers were stunned as the landlord kept bidding higher and higher. But the happiest person in this process is Ben and his men who was conducting this auction. He was hoping for a big reward from Ben. Finally, the auction ended at 10,000 gold coins. The landlord alone had purchased all the property. Ben's men announced that Ben himself would come within 2 to 4 days to collect the full amount. After that, he left the village. All the debt-ridden villagers bowed before the landlord and thanked him. Now, the jinn had to stay inside the landlord for a few days. Otherwise, all his hard work would go in vain. And the jinn had to teach Ben a lesson too. On the other hand, Ben sent his son James to Morgana to collect the auction money. James considered himself very clever. He always boasted in front of his friends. After 2 to 4 days, James reached Morgana and collected the auction money. The debt was repaid, and the landlord received a stamp-sealed document from Ben confirming the clearance of the debt. After spending 1 day as a guest, James prepared to leave for Siana. At that moment, the jinn inside the landlord spoke to James. "Hey James, do you know that our village has some of the best breeds of goats? Now that you have money and since you are here, you should buy some good goats. Even your father knows about these goats. Seeing them, he will definitely be happy with you. Consider my request, James." Now, how could James refuse this offer? Moreover, he thought, if he buy these goats, his father will be pleased with his business skills. So James agreed and went straight to the market. Meanwhile, the jinn inside the landlord came out and disguised himself as a merchant. He stood in a corner of the market. Stuart, too, stood at a little distance holding his own goat. James roamed around the market, asking about goat prices. Finally, he reached Stuart. Stuart quoted a price twice as much as other goats. Hearing this, "What? This goat costs so much. Is this the best goat?" Just then, Stuart politely replied, "Sir, I only sell good goats. But if you want an even better goat, then go to that merchant standing in the corner. He has the best goats." "Yes, I'm right. The best of best ones." James did not waste a second and immediately went to the merchant. "I heard that you have excellent quality goats. I also want a top quality goat." The jinn disguised as the merchant looked James and then said, "Good. What kind of good? If you want a goat that does exercise, its price will be higher." "A goat that does exercise? How's that possible?" "If you want to see, you must pay 100 gold coins." James immediately took out 100 gold coins and gave them to the merchant. The merchant took James to an open space in the market. Then he brought out a goat. The goat climbed up a tree, spun round and round, and jumped skillfully. Watching all this, James was amazed. He asked the merchant, "Are you selling this goat?" "Of course, but its price is 2,000 gold coins." 2,000 gold coins? Can a goat ever be this expensive? "If this price scares you, then what will you do when you hear the price of a singing goat?" "Yes, a singing goat." "What? A singing goat?" Yes, a singing goat. But if you want to hear it sing, you must pay 400 gold coins. Yes, you heard it right. James immediately handed over 400 coins. The trader brought forward a goat and asked it to sing. The goat sang in a very melodious voice.
Wonderful, sir! What's the price of this goat?
5,000 gold coins. But I have an even better goat that can both dance and sing. If you give me 1,000 gold coins, you can watch its performance. So tell me, do you want to witness this? Without thinking twice, James gave the trader 1,000 gold coins. The trader brought forward another goat. This goat stood on 2 legs, danced gracefully, and sang in a mesmerizing voice. Seeing this, James was completely astonished.
I want this goat. How much will you sell it for?
10,000 gold coins, sir. Not a single coin less.
But I only have 8,500 gold coins left. Please accept this amount and finalize the deal. Give me the goat. Please accept this deal. It's a request.
The merchant refused at first, but after a lot of persuasion from James, he finally agreed to the deal. James was very happy. He took the goat and started walking towards his village, Sienna. As soon as James left, the jinn immediately came to Stuart, laughing in his own style.
Stuart, my friend, did you see? I taught that moneylender a lesson. Now he has neither money nor land.
Stuart became emotional and said to the jinn, "All this happened because of you. I just came back from the village landlord with the debt waiver certificate. I have explained everything to the landlord. Now we are all free from debt. You came to help us like God, and that's why this was possible."
Not like God. Say like a jinn.
The jinn handed over a bag of gold coins to Stuart and said,
Take this. This wealth belongs to the jungle. You and your companions should divide it properly and live a good life. And yes, never put yourself in such a situation again that you have to think of ending your life. All right then. Bye-bye.
The jinn flew into the air and disappeared into the jungle. Stuart distributed the gold coins equally among the villagers. Everyone was very happy. Meanwhile, James reached his father Ben with the gold.
Father, look, I have brought something amazing for you. Just take a look. Father,
We will see all that later. First, give me the auction money. We will see all that later.
But just then, James stopped Ben and told him the whole truth. Hearing everything, Ben was furious. He held his head in anger and shouted like anything.
You fool! Do such goats even exist?
No, Father, I'm telling the truth. I saw it with my own eyes. If we show this goat to people, we can make a lot of money. If we present it to the king, he will give us any price we ask for.
Oh, really? Then first, show me what this goat can do.
I will show you right now.
James stood in front of the goat and told it to dance and sing. 2 minutes passed, 5 minutes passed, 10 minutes passed, but the goat did not move an inch. Now James panicked. He tried making different gestures to the goat. He clapped his hands, but still, the goat did not move. Seeing this, Ben's anger reached its peak. Ben immediately stood up and shouted angrily at James.
Your goat is not going to dance, you fool! Now you start dancing and singing and tell people to throw money at you. Oh, you fool! Someone made a fool of you and you fell for it, you fool!
From that day on, James never bragged about himself again. And as for Ben, he kept that goat in his house forever. From that day forward, Ben never charged high interest from anyone again.